Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here again to unpack some significant concepts and really bring you the core insights from fascinating sources. Today, we're delving into a question that's, well, fundamental. It's puzzled humanity for ages. What truly drives us? What is our ultimate quest in life, really? So we're embarking on a deep dive into something pretty profound. The necessity, the reality of divine guidance for humanity. We're talking specifically about the concept of prophethood, or nubuwat in Arabic. And this isn't just presented as some theological idea, but as like an inherent existential requirement for us, our source material for this exploration. It comes from the really insightful work of Maulana Syed Abul Al-Maududi. We're looking at excerpts from chapter 3 of his Seerat Sarwar-e-Aalam, which were kindly shared via the Urdu Audiobooks YouTube channel. Our mission today really is to unpack why, from Maududi's perspective, nubuwat isn't just, a religious concept. Why is it seen as humanity's greatest, most essential need? How does it connect to our existence, our unique abilities, our purpose? Okay, let's unpack this. What's so crucial about guidance, and why is it considered humanity's ultimate need?
It's a really powerful way to start, actually, because Maududi immediately makes this distinction, right, between all the different needs we have. I mean, we spend so much of our lives sorting out needs we share with, well, advanced animals: food, shelter, safety, procreation.
The basics.
Exactly, the basics for survival, for comfort. They're vital, obviously. But Maududi argues there's this uniquely human need. And if that one goes unmet, our whole life becomes, in his words, a failure.
Wow. A failure. That's strong language.
It is. Think of it less like just missing out and more like building this amazing-looking house, impressive on the outside. But it's built on sand, fundamentally unstable, devoid of real ultimate purpose. It's not about just feeling bad. It's about this existential void.
That's a really profound distinction. It forces you to think, okay, we see all these paths, all these options in life that seem fulfilling. But Maududi is suggesting, hang on, maybe only one is actually true for our specific human situation. So how does he argue that this straight path is really the fundamental need, even more fundamental than, say, food or shelter?
Exactly. And the source really digs into this. It highlights how meticulously God provides for our basic or sort of animalistic needs. Every creature, humans included, gets instincts, senses, the environment needed to survive. It's all there.
Right.
But the need for the straight path, that's hidayat, divine guidance, that's presented as what actually defines us, elevates us as humans. It's not just a need among many. It's framed as the actual fundamental necessity, the thing that makes our human existence meaningful, purposeful. Maududi uses this thought experiment. It's quite compelling. He asks, if God is so meticulous about providing for our animal needs, would he, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, just neglect our most vital human need, the very guidance that gives meaning to our conscious life? And the source is explicit. Prophethood, nubuwat, is this provision. It's like the operating manual for being human.
That really does make you pause and think about where we put our energy. We pour immense resources into satisfying physical needs, intellectual curiosity, building skyscrapers, developing AI. But what about that deeper thing, that sometimes unspoken need for guidance on how to live, not just what to live on or what tools to use? It makes me wonder, for you listening right now, what do you feel is your own deepest, perhaps unmet need for guidance? Where do you feel like you're missing a clear compass?
Okay, so Maududi builds this strong case for the absolute necessity of divine guidance. But inevitably, that brings up a question about us, about our own amazing minds, our intelligence. If we have these powerful intellects, why does the source argue we can't just, figure out this straight path on our own? Why prophethood as the answer?
That's a critical question, and yeah, the source tackles it head on. Quite provocatively, too. It offers a pretty clear critique of relying only on human intellect and thought, what Maududi calls aql o fikr. He basically points out that human intellect has already come up with countless paths. Just look around, look at history.
It's true. So many philosophies, ideologies. Exactly. And the sheer diversity, the fact that they're often totally incompatible. Maududi argues this isn't a sign of intellectual richness. Instead, he presents it as clear proof of its failure. Failure, that is, to reliably find the one correct universal way to live a truly purposeful human life.
So it's like having a million brilliant maps.
Yeah, beautifully drawn, intricate maps. But none of them actually get you to the single ultimate destination reliably. It shows our limits when it comes to ultimate truth. And he goes further, making a really strong assertion here. He says it would be a misconception. The word used is badgumani, which implies a real misunderstanding, almost an insult to God's wisdom.
Okay.
A misconception to think he provides so intricately for our physical development, our animal needs, but then just abandon us. Leave humans to just wander around in darkness and stumbling when it comes to our ultimate purpose, our moral life. The idea is a benevolent, all-wise creator wouldn't leave it alone. His most complex creation, the one with such amazing potential, without a clear instruction manual for its highest function.
That really resonates, doesn't it? You look at society today with all our collective brain power technology, and we still argue endlessly about justice, the good life, even basic ethics. It feels like our intelligence often creates more paths, more divergence, not less.
Precisely.
It makes me think about areas in your own life or in society where all these conflicting ideas just create confusion. Despite so much intelligence being thrown at the problems, it's almost like intellect without that compass just spins off in all directions. All right, so if this divine guidance is so vital, so essential, it leads to a really interesting paradox that Maududi gets into. Why weren't we just, programmed for the straight path from the start like other creatures seem to be? Why allow for wrong choices at all? Why the freedom?
Yes. And this is where the concept of free will, ikhtiar, becomes absolutely central in the source's explanation. God could have made us instinctively guided, like animals following their programming, never straying.
Sure.
Seems simpler, maybe? Maybe simpler. But Maududi argues it wouldn't fit the grander design for humanity, which was to create a being capable of conscious choice, choosing between right and wrong. Humanity was made as an ikhtiar creature, a being given this profound, maybe scary ability to choose. And to make that choice possible, we were given unique tools, intellect, consciousness, willpower, and even control over countless internal and external things. Our environment, our bodies, to an extent. Okay. The source points out all these amazing gifts, they'd be pretty meaningless if we were just born straight path, hardwired, programmed. And Maududi adds another layer. Reaching our highest potential, the highest levels of development as humans, is only possible through the correct use of freedom.
So freedom isn't just a side effect, it's necessary for growth.
Exactly. So to preserve that freedom and also to fulfill the purpose of life being a test, an imtihan, God chose the method of prophethood, risalat being the actual message, the guidance delivered through a prophet. So the path is shown clearly. It's illuminated, explained. But the choice, that remains with us. And that allows for our unique growth, building character, fulfilling our purpose. It involves risk, yes, but it unlocks potential that programming never could.
That's a really powerful way to look at it. Freedom, with all its risks of messing up, is actually key to our development and purpose. Not a bug, but a feature. It makes you reflect on how much value you place on your own freedom to choose, and how that choice, even with the risk of error, allows for real achievement, real growth. Okay, so Maududi makes this compelling case for moral guidance, hidayat. But does this principle, this idea of guidance, only apply to ethics? Or can we see it reflected elsewhere, like in the physical world around us?
Oh, absolutely. And this is where Maududi's argument becomes even broader, drawing these brilliant analogies from just, physical reality. He talks about signs of guidance. Literally signs of direction in the material world itself. Mm-hmm. He reminds us, God didn't just make the earth a blank, confusing slate. Right?
Yeah.
He put landmarks here, mountains, rivers. He put stars in the sky, all to help us navigate. The earth has different distinctive signs everywhere, helping us find our way, get our bearings.
Like natural signposts.
Exactly. And you really feel the value of this physical guidance when you think about being lost in a desert area.
Yeah.
Nothing to orient you. Or even more dramatically, during sea voyages back in the day, where only the stars gave you any sense of direction on this vast empty ocean.
Yeah, terrifying otherwise.
Totally. So this careful, intricate provision for our material navigation leads Maududi to ask this really striking question. If God makes such elaborate arrangements for our guidance in our material life, can it be imagined that he would be so unconcerned about your moral life, your spiritual journey, your whole purpose?
That's a powerful comparison.
And the source is really clear on this. Getting lost in material life is far less damaging than getting lost morally or spiritually. Losing cargo, missing a destination, even tragically, losing your physical life. That's bad. But losing your way morally, that wastes your entire human potential, your existence.
So the stakes are higher, morally speaking.
Much higher. So it's just inconceivable, Maududi argues, that the merciful God who guides us physically through mountains, plains, deserts, and seas wouldn't have also made a path for our moral life, or wouldn't stand any sign to illuminate it, or ignite any shining lamp to clearly show it. The logic is pretty compelling. If physical guidance is vital and provided, moral guidance must be even more vital and therefore also provided.
That is incredibly powerful. We rely so much on GPS, on street signs, maps. We just take all these guidance systems for granted. But then, yeah, we often try to navigate the much more complex landscape of ethics and morality with, well, maybe less clarity. Or we think we have to do it all alone. It really invites you, the listener, to think. How do you navigate physically using all these tools? And then compare that reliance on clear external guidance to how you approach complex moral dilemmas. Do you seek out a moral compass with the same intensity? Okay, this leads us to an even bigger idea Maududi explores, this idea that guidance isn't just for humans or for finding our way physically, but it's like a universal principle, something woven into everything that exists.
Indeed. And the source brings in this incredibly profound statement from the Quran here. It's Moses speaking to Pharaoh. Moses says, "Our Lord is he who gave everything its form and then guided it." That's from Surah Taha.
Gave everything its form and then guided it. Okay.
What does that mean? It means every single thing in the world, our hands, our feet, humans, animals, plants, minerals, air, water, light, you name it. Each thing has been given its specific form, its structure, its design, and also its abilities, its inherent nature to do what it's meant to do. But crucially, God didn't just create the form and abilities. He also guides how all these things operate to fulfill their purpose.
So like an internal programming.
Exactly. He teaches the ear to hear, the eye to see. He guides the fish to swim naturally, the tree to bear fruit in its season. Every single entity, from the tiniest particle to the largest galaxy, has this inherent guidance, making it function according to its design. The source sums it up. God isn't just the creator, the Khaliq. He's also the guide and sustainer Muslim of the entire universe.
Muslim
Meaning, essentially, that which ensures everything operates in harmonious submission to its design, its purpose, according to divine law. It's not about conscious choice for, say, a tree or a fish. It's about their inherent nature and function.
Wow, that's an all-encompassing view. Guidance is a universal design principle.
Right. And this argument, which Moses implicitly uses to justify his own prophethood, highlights the core logic. If God guides all of creation with such intricate, flawless detail, making sure ears hear and fish swim, doesn't it follow logically, mercifully, that he would provide the most crucial guidance for humanity's unique moral and spiritual life?
Through a prophet.
Exactly. Through a chosen human being, Maududi concludes. Someone who serves as a clear, relatable guide, calling people back to that straight path, aligning our conscious choices with this universal principle of divine guidance that runs through everything.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for us, really? We've explored Maududi's perspective on prophethood, nubuwwat, seeing it not just as a concept, but as this absolute necessity, woven into existence, into our deepest human needs. We've touched on how our intellect, powerful as it is, might fall short on its own, how our precious free will actually necessitates clear guidance, and how this principle of hidayat, guidance, seems reflected everywhere, from the stars above to the moral choices within.
And tying it all together, the ultimate argument from the source is that for us, for humanity, with our unique blend of intellect and free will, ikhtiyar, the most suitable, the most compassionate form of guidance comes through another human being, a prophet, appointed by God, someone who acts as that visible, relatable guide, showing the path, allowing us to use our freedom meaningfully, to fulfill why we're here. So this deep dive into Maulana Maududi's insights really leaves us with something to chew on, doesn't it? If the entire universe, from the smallest atom to the grandest galaxy, operates on these intricate principles of design and inherent guidance, what implications might that have for your own personal search, your search for meaning, for purpose, in this world full of choices?
A truly profound question to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really encourage you to keep exploring these crucial questions for yourself.